Turn the pages, feel the beat, dance with words, move your feet.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the start of this week's vlog and today's reading Dippit. Woohoo! Alright, so as you can see, I have a bit of a mess here, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys my mess, right? And this is kind of with the current setup of like my area, just with having everything kind of shifted around, how it kind of looks like, you know, like I got my tree there, books over here, some craft stuff, more craft stuff right here, books everywhere. But then the best part about it is that my library hold came in, which is Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. Woohoo! So I don't know, like, well, I want to finish that way over there. Good Spirits first. Oh my gosh, get this other craft stuff out of the way. Oh my goodness. So, ta-da! Right, but then this week I also want to figure out what I'm going to make with this yarn. I don't know what yet, but something cool. I can maybe make like a hat with it. I don't know. Definitely going to crochet. I only have one ball, and so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with it. But yeah, so between Good Spirits and then Fake Skating, yeah, just, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah. And then Hoopla, the library app, I saw that they had The Wizard of Oz. So I've been listening to that, and I'm on chapter 12, I think. Right, so they have seen, each of them are on, okay, well, a group of 4 people, if you know the story at all. Yeah, their search for the Wicked Witch. This is where I am, so about halfway through the book, which is super great. So what happens is that we have the troop of 4, the Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion are all together, and they've each been told by the wizard that they need to help Dorothy get the Wicked Witch. So yeah, so hopefully we've done that tomorrow, but we'll see. Don't want to put pressure on myself, but you know, at least I am listening to a book. So that's just kind of it for me. Gonna give it a thumbs up. Hopefully everybody's doing alright. Happy reading, and we'll catch you on the next Dippit. Bye! Hello, 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 and welcome to this reading Dippit. Woohoo! Alright, so I got some exciting news. I finished 2 things. So I originally was going to make a hat out of the ball of yarn that I had, but then I made a little headband for the winter, you know, to protect my ears. Yay! Because I only had 1 ball. I tried to make a hat out of it, and I was thinking, oh, like, I can give it to, like, my friend's, like, baby to keep her head warm, but then I was like, no, it's so soft and so fuzzy. I want to make it for me. And I've made, like, headbands or, like, ear muffs kind of a thing before, but they're either, like, they're not as thick, and they're a little too tight, but this one fits perfectly, so I love that. But as I was like creating this and just kind of playing around with it, I finished listening to The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Woohoo! Alright, so I think that was kind of like a big double whammy, finishing this book, as well as like my little ear headband thing for the winter. Yay! Woohoo! Because I wanted to make it for me and not for no one else. Alright! And it was a cute little, like, I can crochet when I get going really fast, so it took me like, you know, like an hour and a half, because I played around with it 2 hours max, right? So, yeah. Right? So with The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, it is a lot different than the movie that came out in 1939, which, it being 2025 now, that's 14 years, which is like 85 years ago that movie was made. Wow. All right, but anyways, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, you know, it's like you got your basics. You got Dorothy, who ends up in a cyclone and ends up at Oz, and, well, just a lot of ands right now. Oh my goodness. Right? But And so Dorothy ends up, meeting like the wizard. Well, of course, that she ends up in Munchkin Land, and she is told that that she needs to go to the Emerald City to meet Oz. And so on her way to Oz, she ends up meeting the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and then the Cowardly Lion. And they all want to go to see the Oz for, to go home for brains, a heart, and courage. But of course, along the way, they end up, getting all those things. They don't need the help of the wizard. And when the wizard gets there, of course, he's like a fraud. And he ends up like floating away in his balloon without Dorothy, because Dorothy ends up having to go get Toto, her faithful companion. And when she does that, so then obviously they get the evil witch by Dorothy gets her by giving her, drowning her in water. I still don't know why, like, water would kill a witch. I know they explore that in Wicked, but it's just kind of weird. You know what I mean? But anyways, so they do. But then, of course, Dorothy meets up the Queen of the North, who teaches her that all she needs to do is click her silver heels 3 times, and she would end up back at home with Auntie Emma and Uncle Henry, what she does. Right? So it's just, of course, I mean, I don't feel like I'm spoiling any of the story because the movie came out in 1939. If you hadn't seen it, then that's on you. When was this book published originally? Oh my goodness. I'm finding that out. Okay. Well, this one was created in the edition that I have. It was made in 2005. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to check that up on my phone. But of course, I like how, now that I'm thinking about it, the Emerald City and this book screen, I do not have the dust jacket for it, which is fine. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the Wonderful Wizard of Oz novel by Frank L. Baum, or L. Frank Baum, I always want to say it the reverse. Oh my gosh. Originally published May 17th, 1900. So the movie was made 40 years after the book was originally published. So that would mean 125 years ago today. Well, not necessarily today, but this year. So if you don't know the story by now, I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything. So, got you, saved by the bell on that one, right? But you know what? Read one book this week. Well, I'm still planning on reading more of Good Spirits. Woohoo! Now I don't feel so bad for just kind of having, it's kind of like a cozy night instead of, I wasn't lazy. Instead of watching more TV, I ended up turning on the audiobook, which is exactly what you want. And I listened to it on Hoopla, and The Wizard of Oz is like a 5-book series. So, and Hoopla prompted me, do I want to listen to the next one? Might just do that, right? Well, I'm going to check if Hoopla has all 5, because if it doesn't, then, I'll set myself up for failure in a way. Not really, right? Because cute little books, right? Anyways, done with the Wonderful World of Oz, woohoo! But anyways, and got the headband. Yeah, success. Cozy book night, especially because we are expected to get another 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. So, nice prep work. Got myself cozied up. Alright, anyways, happy reading, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next bit. Bye! Hello, and welcome to this reading Dippit. Woohoo! As you can see, I have all my light toys going on. Very Christmas themed. I'm living it, trying to get the angles just right. Both the trees, the toys, and of course, the Christmas moose. Alright, so I've read a little bit more of Good Spirits, and it is definitely becoming like a romance between the ghost and the person that he's trying to help. Oh my gosh. I need to figure out their names right now. And past Nolan, the Ghost of Christmas Past, and he's helping out Harriet York. So, I want to say it's like a romantasy between, well, obviously between Nolan and, my gosh, Harriet. Watercolor is something different. The name just left me, but it doesn't matter. But it's kind of like, I want to say it has very much has the feeling of being not Scrooge. Yeah, Scrooge. Just like a Christmas Carol. That's what it is. The Christmas Carol kind of like retelling in a sense, giving that vibes. I don't know, probably going to not get this book done by the end of this week's vlog, but that's okay. And I could have done a lot of reading this week, especially tonight, but I had a bit of a migraine, a headache coming on, so I decided to take a little bit of a nap. I'm sorry, right, but I just kind of needed it. I don't want to be like, oh, it's been a long week, right? It really hasn't. It's actually been a bit of a later week, but I don't know, like, it was just sometimes you just need to take a little nap. Self-care, right? And yeah, so I did, did some decorating or cleaned up this area a bit, but I'll move this aside, move it right here so you can still see it. And it's got backlit by R2 there. But yeah, the books in which I want to finish reading by the end of the year, well, I'm going to try. Is it probably going to happen? No, I don't know. But here you go. Yeah. I don't know. So that's all I'm going to say. Give it a thumbs up. Hope everybody's doing alright. And we'll catch you on the next Dippit. Bye. Hello. And welcome to this reading Dippit. Woohoo. Alright, it will end the end of this week's vlog. Have I finished or read more of Good Spirits? No. Not because I didn't want to. Well, I guess yes, because I didn't want to. Mainly because I went and saw a concert last night, but after I got back from volunteering, I just ended up doing all this like little stuff that needed to get done, like do finishing touches on some gifts, as well as what do I say? Attaching letters to stockings to make sure they do things. Hang properly. We know whose is whose. But that's kind of it. And I have another migraine today, and I had another one earlier on this week. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but obviously recovering from a headache again, right? But the snow that was suggested that was coming, that we didn't know where was coming, is now here. From the time that I've gotten up to the time of recording this, which has been maybe like 30-45 minutes, the snow has come. Oh my goodness. But you know what? That is life. It's a good time to stay inside and to relax, read a book, cozy up, and forget about a migraine. Yay! But anyways, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully everybody's doing alright. And we'll catch you on the next bit. Bye!